According to the Business Insider, here are the signs that you might have a toxic friend. List goes like this. Everything is about them if they're a toxic friend. They compete with you. They put you down. So those are the first three. Let's digest those. What do you think about those, Sherhara?
Well, definitely, I think your heart tells you first and foremost when you have a toxic friend. If you have to question it in the first place, then you know there's something that's probably problematic. But if you constantly feel that competition, then you know that there's probably an underlying issue. But me, of course, being all about talking it out, let's figure out our feelings.
Yes.
You know, I just kind of feel like if you do feel like your friend is competing with you, then I think the best thing to do is just ask the questions. What's up, baby? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like there's some competition between us? And I think the reason why it becomes even more toxic is because you're kind of always observing it and not actually doing anything about it.
Shahara's always encouraging us to like say what's on our
Put it out
mind,
there.
like just
Communication
put it out.
expert. Yeah.
Communication,
Yeah.
just put it out there. I love that. Like put it. I think the competition one is probably the most popular one so far among women.
Yeah, I'm really big on, look, at this point in my life, like if a friend gives any toxicity out there, I don't need it. Like you dwindle down your friends to the ones that enrich your life. And the ones who aren't, you really don't need them. Let's take a look at the rest of the list here. They are jealous of other friends. They cross your boundaries, and you feel responsible for them all the time.
Yeah, you know what? That whole jealous of other friends, I don't get too jealous, but I do get a little possessive. I look at I'm telling you, I look at Instagram and I see them hanging out with somebody else. I'm first of all, I'm like, who is that? Where's she from?
Where was my phone call?
And how come y'all so close now? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely know that sometimes that kind of rivalry can kind of fester some toxic emotions, but you always have to check yourself. And I think that when you do have someone who's getting jealous, it's more so about themselves than it is about the actual person that they're hanging out with.
What's it like for guys, Jordan?
I think the most toxic thing for guys is, especially if you got a guy who's in a relationship and you're hanging out with a friend, put you in bad spots. And I think those are the toxic friends for guys at my age, you know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, if my wife asks, I was here.
That's bad.
Or hey, let's stay out till 3 in the morning. Babe, my wife wants me to go home. Just stay out a couple more hours, man. We're hanging out with them.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's the most toxic thing that I experienced, where I've had to say, yeah, that guy, we're in different places. Maybe they're the single guy and they just want to live that life, and it's a position that they don't respect, that I'm no longer in that space.
What's your Jordan advice, Shahara? How does he need to get those toxic friends to get him in order?
What? You got to put your foot down and put the wings up, okay? You can't be the wingman anymore.
Exactly.
And that's just it. Sometimes you have to redefine your roles with your friends. And so you have to have a conversation and be like, look, homie, I can't necessarily be there for you like that anymore.
Oh, she said a mouthful right there.
Yeah, if they understand
to
that it can
redefine your relationship. People change, relationships change. That doesn't mean sometimes you have to go your separate ways, but sometimes you could stay together, but it might need to be different.
Yeah, you got to figure out new roles.
Or there's the gossip. That's the other toxic friend, the guy who tells
you got
everything.
guys that talk too much?
Yeah, guys.
I knew guys talk more than girls did.
Guys gossip just like women do.
You know what? Honestly, I think it is a thing. I mean, kind of going all the way back to high school. It's something that happens when you're really young, where a lot of times young women always say, you know what? I've got more guy friends. I've got more guy friends. But as we mature and we get older, we understand the importance of having solid sisterhood and relationships. But I will say, if you are ambitious, if you are outgoing, you have to kind of circumvent perhaps people feeling a little intimidated. And you have to disarm people. I feel it for myself. I come off a little strong every now and then. But I know that that's the way I come off. So I always have to try harder to connect with women, to let them know, I'm cool, we're good, I see you, I'm not competing with you, I want to learn from you.
So there is that element of competition initially.
It is, and you know, it starts from the moment women walk into the room. Like, you're immediately judged your hair color, your skin tone, how cute you look, how great your body looks, how cute your clothes are.
This is women judging women like this?
Yeah. Do you feel that, or do you see that, or
you know
find yourself doing it?
I think it's a natural thing, especially in a competitive workplace, and because we also know there's a small space for women to thrive, especially in the corporate space or whatever space it may be professionally. You know, you kind of feel that naturally. But I definitely feel like women are starting to come together more. The idea of kind of leaning in, the idea of collaborating and leveraging our resources. You know, I mean, I give it up to Beyonce. I know you love it. But this idea of uniting, and I think we're seeing that a bit more than what maybe we've seen in the past.
Yeah, you know, I can speak from the experience of a man who sees this in front of him, you know, working in the sports world. It's male dominated, and the sports world's looking to change that, be more inclusive, be more diverse, especially with gender. And you see women who are obviously the smaller minority in the sports world, and you see them stand together, which is a great thing. My fiance is a sports reporter. As a woman, she's aligned herself with other women in the business who have to deal with some similar situations, who can lean on each other for advice on how to handle certain things. But then there's that faction of women in the business that are like, I'm with the fellas, you know, that woman, I'll keep her at a distance. Yeah. I don't want her to take my position because they're fighting for a piece of the pie. So it can go both ways. But I always do feel like it's refreshing to see women align themselves together to be stronger as a whole rather than stand alone.
Yeah, I think being competitive at work is a good thing, but I guess I want to say you don't have to tear someone else down in order to be successful or in order to be competitive. But so I definitely don't want to knock like competition in the workplace. I think that's a healthy thing.
Yeah, just don't cut each other down. And